Welcome to the Fasting Podcast. Wow, Wellness and Optimal Weight. I'm your host, Julie Phillips, certified natural health professional for 2 decades after a life-threatening scare. This is episode 49, large-scale change on a number of pounds in a given single day. Some people will wonder, should I weigh daily when I'm doing the fasting? And if you're experimenting and wanting to learn how your body responds to eating different foods, maybe some you might even be allergic to and don't realize it. Different eating intervals and times a day, different kinds of exercise. This on weighing daily, if you keep the parameters constant on what time you weigh and when it's first wake up without clothing and without drinking, hopefully after the bowel movement, now you can have a feel for what your body did to a given change that you did yesterday. And these changes can be sizable. If you are going to weigh daily, we definitely encourage you to keep a log for later analysis, maybe on your cell phone, and monitor the trends over biweekly or monthly and make sure they're going in the right direction, like the body fat and visceral fat should be going downward, muscle percent, if you're on a good program and especially doing exercise, should stay the same or go up, and the body age should stay the same or go downward. So if they're going in the opposite directions, you have to re-examine, what have I been doing that isn't cooperating with my goals? If you're not going to do daily weighing, we encourage everyone to get a body composition scale. They have them on Amazon for less than $30. There's one called Renpho, R-E-N-P-H-O, that's very inexpensive, but make sure it has visceral fat, body age. We recommend that you do it at the beginning of a program you're choosing to do, and then do it at least either biweekly or monthly so you can monitor those trends. And the last episode we did was 48 on a short-term fast, 48 to 72 hours, and we talked about prolonged fast in there, but that is covered in more detail in episode 13. Take your numbers, write them down, including visceral fat, very important, just before you start if you're going to do a longer fast. And then don't keep looking at it every day if you're a low weight person, because it might worry you. So if you're going to do a 3-day fast or a 5-day fast and you're worried about losing weight, don't look at it after you took your numbers in the beginning. Look at it at the end. And if you did lose some muscle doing a pure water fast, then chances are good it's the old used up muscle, and you'll be better able perhaps to rebuild healthy muscle when you're done. So don't scare yourself worrying about, oh, I lost too much weight. Always weigh first thing in the morning without clothes on a body composition scale, preferably after the bowel movement and before you're drinking your water, and measure those inches, especially around the waist, because either water retention or changes in diet can reshape the body so much. Let's talk about some possible reasons for a significant number of pounds gained in a single day. Let's say 2 to 5 or even more, depending on how big you are and whether you're a male or female. If you've gained a significant amount and it surprised you, think about these possibilities. Maybe you actually weighed in at a different time. You had your clothes on, you didn't have bowel movement, which you normally do. Think about, maybe did I eat out somewhere, whether it be a restaurant or someone else's house, and get a real high amount of sodium to help retain that water? What about the foods that you ate yesterday? If you took in a bunch of excess carbohydrates, your body can take the excess carbs and store them as glycogen in the muscles and liver for energy use later on, maybe in a hurry. And these are surrounded by a lot of large water molecules. And so you might see multiple pounds just from the glycogen stores. What about females with a menstrual cycle? What about a person that says, I drink so much water, I drink 1.5 gallons, and it's not even a very big person doing extreme exercise? Maybe the excess water, you can overdo too much water. What if it flushed your trace minerals out of the body? And now your ratio of intracellular water inside the cells versus extracellular water is out of balance. And now you might be one of those people that feels like you drink and you urinate, but maybe the water isn't going inside the cells. Perhaps one possibility is lack of bowel movements. So, as a wellness coach, if you're eating 2 or 3 meals a day, I'm hoping you're getting 2 to 3 large, long, brown, smooth bowel movements each day. And believe it or not, you can actually get bowel movements when you're on a multi day fast. So, don't be surprised by that. And you have to also wonder, could there be some kind of blockage or a parasite clog, because a lot of people have parasites that should be addressed. And we did do an episode on parasites in the past. And I guess in an unusual circumstance, if you're doing extreme workout and your body was able to kick in some muscle mass with what you did from the last day, then I guess that's a possibility. Now let's talk about some possible reasons for significant loss in a single day. And again, we're talking 2 to 5 pounds or even more. What if today you reduced how much your intake is and reduced how digestible and processable your intake was from yesterday? You actually could be dumping a major food load that your body was able to finally release. We talked a few minutes about glycogen stores, the excess carbs in the muscle and liver the body stores in case of emergency, surrounded by all those water molecules. After the body burns for energy the food and drink that we ate, next it turns to the glycogen stores. And as that's depleted, all that water around the glycogen stores could produce a several pound drop on the scale. That is probably not real fat being burned in that first day after you quit eating those carbs. This is water weight. It's good it's out of the way, but now to keep your glycogen stores from refilling, then keep the net carbs low while you're on your specific program. Remember that the body, when the glycogen stores are depleted, it can then simultaneously break down for energy the protein/muscle as well as the fat simultaneously. So we want to make sure we're preserving our muscle, which can be facilitated in an extended fast by the human growth hormone that can be generated. We want to make sure in a regular mode when we're not doing that, that we are getting sufficient usable protein. And there's a couple of episodes on protein that are very valuable. You also could have resolved a constipation or irregularity issue. And if you're eating 2 or 3 meals a day and getting 0 to 1 bowel movement a day, as a wellness coach, I hope you're looking a little closer at that challenge, because the little babies, after they eat, if they're healthy inside, they're usually doing big bowel movements. You wonder, how did that thing come out every time this little baby eats? What about an intestinal sludge purge? This is where you can use oxygenating magnesium, where there's all different brands of oxygenating magnesium, and you can use it to clean the sludge slowly off the intestinal wall while it throws oxygen and alkalinity in the nasty intestinal tract. And if you combine that with a good fiber that can soak up the excess fecal matter and toxins that have been pulled out, and also use an enzyme probiotic digestive gut blend. We definitely have our favorite with the WOW version, but there's different tools like you can use to intentionally clean the sludge off the intestinal wall, and you can see serious pound loss by doing that. It's crazy good, even good during an extended fast. Also, if you finally have resolved the intracellular water versus extracellular water ratio, because remember, flushing trace minerals now is going to make your fluid balance off. So your electrolytes, your sodium potassium pump, these are all things you need to pay attention to. And maybe you finally got it right. Maybe you put pink sea salt in your water. Maybe you're using our potassium-based bitters tonic from episode 46. And together, the pink sea salt and the potassium-based herbal tonic with bitters, those can help resolve constipation challenges. Those can help resolve the intracellular, extracellular water. And there's something really you may have heard about, but it's important to understand, called the Whoosh Effect, WHOOSH. And in 2015, Yale University did a study, and they proved that new fat cells are created quickly, but bad news, dieting cannot eliminate them. So the whoosh theory goes like this. The fat cells have a method of survival and readiness just in case you're going to gain that fat back again. So when the fat's released for energy, water can go in the fat cells and replace the fat just in case. And after a period of not replacing the fat, the water can eventually release, and whoosh, you can lose 2 to 5 pounds, maybe even more, in one single day. Maybe you were discouraged the days before that, but all of a sudden, finally, whoosh. Picture that whoosh effect as if you had a water balloon full of water and someone stuck a pin in it and it pops, or you maybe hit it up against the wall and it popped. So that sounds like a good theory, and you can experiment with that. So hang in there, persevere, ensure you're doing the right thing. So when strange surprises happen on the scale, and make sure you're watching things like visceral fat, muscle percent, make sure you're doing enough of the important things right, and measure, use your metrics. Some people believe you can feel extra hungry the day before the whoosh effect occurs, and some like to hide the scale altogether, but we kind of like to keep monitoring, even though we may feel like we're going through this keeping the water and keeping the weight when we should be losing. Maybe we haven't got to the whoosh effect. So that might be a good time to watch the scale daily. Possible next steps. Watch a lot of our great past and future episodes, refer other people, and check out our website, thefastingpodcastwow.com. You might want to check out the 28-minute video, lifeboatdoctors.com, with expert doctors talking about the key component of the WOW program, Wellness and Optimal Weight. You can direct questions or feedback to thefastingpodcastwow@gmail.com, and we hope you give us a good review, whether you're on iTunes, and hope you like it enough to give us a 5-star. But if you're on YouTube, we hope you like the video and subscribe. Remember, stay positive, focused, and determined, because where the mind goes, energy flows.